Yo, hope you're doing well. Over the past few months, I've been conducting an experiment in an effort to find what mountain bike size works best for me. To conduct this experiment, I built up an array of bikes with reaches from 400mm all the way up to 464mm in reach. I hope that me sharing what I learned through this experience can help you find a bike that you feel more confident on and help progress your riding to new levels. For a bit of background, I've been riding mountain bikes for about 10 years now, and I've been riding mountain bikes professionally for the last few years. With that said, in the last 18 months, I have been diving super deep into my bike setup and trying to optimize its performance. Previously, I would always ride size medium frames. I'm 5'11" or 180 centimeters depending on where you're based in the world. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know why. I would never look at size charts. I was like, you know what, medium, that's seeming right to me, that's seeming good. So I'd always pick up medium frames. And now with this experiment, I've had three kind of main takeaways, I would say, and then one general rule of thumb that I use to base my bike sizing off of now, which I'll share at the end of the video. My first key takeaway from this experiment has been to not look at bike sizing as small, medium, and large. Although these are the terms that are provided from most major bike manufacturers, there is absolutely no regulation. Like a medium at one brand is not the same at another. For instance, my YT Capra MX in a size medium has a reach of 444mm. Comparing that to a comparable Yeti, being the SB160, that bike's got a 465mm. Those bikes are gonna feel radically different, and this is why it's important to find a reach number that works well for you in your build. With learning about the differences in sizing across all these brands, I got even more confused than when I started trying to research this, and that's when I found the Joy of Bikes YouTube channel. They have two really key videos that I'd recommend you checking out on bike fitment if you're looking to dive deeper into this topic. However, the key lesson was that you take your height in centimeters and multiply that by 2.5. For me, that gives me a ballpark reach of 450mm. Now they also say if you're looking to go on the short side, you can multiply by 2.45, or the long side, you can multiply by 2.55. Overall, this gives me a ballpark reach of 441mm to 459mm. With this said, I do not find this simple math equation to be the end-all be-all solution. However, in my testing, I have found that bikes in the reach range that it recommends to work really well for me, which gives me a lot of confidence to share it with you. Now with this reach range established, my second key takeaway from this test has been that bikes on the smaller side in certain circumstances have been very beneficial for me. For instance, my dirt jump bike has a reach of 400mm. Now, the shorter reach gives me more leverage over the front end, which allows me to pop quarter pipes and dirt jumps to the best of my ability. Additionally, my e-bike has a reach of 429mm. In that case, I find that the additional leverage over the front end is really good to compensate for the added weight of the battery and other electrical components, and allows me to jump my e-bike better. Now, I do not think that smaller is necessarily always better. To contrast this, my YT2 is in a medium, has a reach of 429mm, which is the same as the Decoy. However, I find that bike to be very twitchy when getting up to high speeds as you do with the downhill bike. So this isn't an end-all be-all solution. However, in certain circumstances, I have found bikes smaller than recommended by the formula to work really well. So now that we've established that smaller bikes than recommended by the formula are not always better, are bigger bikes better? To wrap up, my third key takeaway has been that no, bigger is not always better. Recently, I built up a Capra MX in a size large frame, which I haven't done before, despite it being recommended by the size chart. And to be honest, the bike feels good, but it definitely feels on the big side, and I really couldn't imagine going any bigger. One thing I found interesting is this past week when Pink Bike released their value field test, the YT Capra had the shortest reach out of all of the bikes that they sampled. I think this speaks very well to this trend of very large bikes being manufactured and sized at the moment. My experience so far on this large Capra has been that it feels big. Not too big, it's definitely rideable, but it's big. And with that said, it is 5mm longer than was recommended by the ballpark reach provided by the math done earlier in the video, as it comes in at a 464mm reach. All in all, I don't think I could ride an XL of this bike well, And I think 464 is definitely nearing my personal max. A 464mm reach being near my max is somewhat of a hypothetical statement, as I've only tested bikes smaller. With that said, when I got onto the large Capra, I did feel more stretched out and a slight bit of less control over the front end of my bike, which I really did not personally enjoy. And that feeling would only be enhanced further on bigger and bigger bikes, which allows me to feel confident in saying that a 464 is about as big as I feel the want to go. Given these feelings about the Capra, I don't think that it's too big to ride, but I just know I really can't use it to jib around. I probably won't do a 360 on it. I'll mostly keep this bike for ripping bike park laps, shuttling, really fast, aggressive trail riding, and just plowing. Given its size, I know its place. A great point of reference for me throughout this entire experience has been to look into Loic Bruni's setup. He's also 180 centimeters tall and is a rider who I'm super inspired by. And as of 2021, in a bike check with Pink Bike, he was riding a reach of 465 millimeters. And previously in a YouTube video he made on his old bike, he was running a 445 mil reach. The 445 definitely falls within the ballpark that I had described earlier, with the 465 being just outside. That said, he is racing downhill at the highest level, and the added reach could definitely give him some more stability, which may lead him to go bigger than that. Either way, I find him to be a very inspiring person to look at for me in this experiment. All in all, through this experiment, I found that the height in centimeters multiplied by 2.5 is a great way to get a rough starting reach point for your next mountain bike. For me, that ended up being 450 millimeters. And to be honest, over the last 3 years, it's just happened that I've ridden a lot of bikes with 450 millimeters and they've all felt amazing. And I really feel confident passing on this knowledge to you. Now, to take this one step further, I would also say it's important to think about your personal rider preferences if you have them, whether you like a smaller bike or a larger bike, as well as the intended use of the bike. If you're looking to just smash laps and go fast, going slightly larger on the reach may be beneficial for you. And if you're looking to jib around, maybe do some tricks, jump, etc., going slightly smaller could be really beneficial for you. So overall, keeping all these things in mind, I think that these are the best tools to find the right size mountain bike for you. I hope that everything that I've learned through this experiment can help you find a bike that you feel confident in. And if you have any thoughts on this video or this topic, please drop them in the comments down below. I'll definitely get back to you, and thanks for watching. Peace.